Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to our podcast.
Today we're looking at the long-awaited anime film, The Irregular at Magic High School, the movie.
The surprisingly quiet film. Characters are enjoying spring break on the Ogasawara Island when a girl named Kokoa appears and needs their help to rescue her siblings from a secret government agency that threatens to harm the world.
Mm.
Yeah, this was not all that they claimed it was going to be.
Yeah, we saw it pretty late because we heard they were making a movie. They had in the theaters for a while, then they had on DVD. Right? Okay, finally get to see it, and then
we were so ecstatic and excited because the series itself is just awesome, kick-ass and awesome, and we just knew the movie would be the same way, kick-ass and awesome, and were we wrong?
Right, and the movie's like 90 minutes. Yeah, it's a full 90 minutes. And, like, nothing really happens until probably, the 80 or 70 minute mark.
And then it's not what you expect or would hope would happen. And so all I could think when we finished was, that's 90 minutes of my life I can't get back.
Yeah, and if you've seen the show, like I said, it's really a lot of action, a lot of drama. Even though they're in high school, there's still crap going on. But then you get to this movie and it's like talking and talking and talking. And it's like, why is this the last Airbender movie all over again?
Right.
Why is everyone talking for over an hour straight?
And also the show itself of the series is very smart. It's witty, it's cerebral, in addition to all the action. Well, in this movie, there was no thinking going on whatsoever.
Just
the
talking.
characters didn't think. The characters didn't do any action. The characters looked totally different than they did from the series. And I know you said the animation was different, but at least they should have looked similar, so you would know who they are. The two main characters, and it was like, are you sure this is Tetsuya and his sister? Because they didn't look
anything with the original, yeah. And I get that it has been years since the other show, but could you really not get the same artist or someone who did the style close enough? Because it looked like a whole different, all different characters. And then there were some characters that were kind of missing from the original series. They didn't get to fit anybody in. They even added a new character, but she's not technically new because she's already been introduced. But if you haven't read the light novel or the manga, you don't know who she is. They even have to tell you within the movie that she was introduced in the novel, but not in the anime. But everyone knows her already, so you're left in the dark. So all these characters know who she is, and she's already a regular, and the audience doesn't know jack, and they have to explain it because they never even bothered to give her a proper introduction.
Right. So there were some marked differences besides not recognizing the characters, no action, no thinking, no plot. Okay, so as you said, there were fewer characters than there appeared in the series, which I kind of can forgive because, like My Hero Academia, the movie, there were characters that did not participate. You just got a quick shot of them, and you knew they were there, but they didn't participate in the plot of the movie. So I can forgive that.
Right, that's true. They just kept the main ones that were part of the story arcs in the series.
Right, and this takes place during spring break, summer break, which I think.
No, I think it's spring break. Unless they're acting like it's spring and it looks like summer.
Well, I'm thinking it's summer. I could be wrong, but it takes place during some break, just like the My Hero Academia movie.
Right.
Took place during summer break. So they weren't in their uniforms, and that was a little strange. But again, you can forgive that. What I can't forgive is a couple of things that were just missing. And the dialogue really consisted of a lot of soliloquies. A lot of people doing monologues, and they weren't even the main characters of the show.
Right.
It was these villains or other people that were participating.
Or the girl.
And talking and talking and talking and saying nothing.
Right.
And just going on and
they're like,
on.
Okay, how much did the scriptwriter get paid for writing nonsense, just dialogue
and we were going
on?
At some points, we're like, is this person still talking? When is this person going to be finished?
Right.
And the main characters was just standing there.
Right, and there was barely any animation. Kind of thought with the movie, usually with the anime movies, they save up, their budget goes up, and they can do a lot of cool scenes that even they couldn't do in the anime in the very little series, like with Tiger and Bunny over here in Academia, they pull off even more epic scenes when they get to their movies. But for here, it seems like they did the opposite. They put in very little effort for action because there was no action until the last, like, probably 20 minutes of the film. And then on top of that, I could get some talking, like explaining what the government facility was doing and why they're a threat, and explain why they're on the break and how long it's been. That part I get you up to speed, explain these new characters. But I didn't expect it to have explanations for the next hour.
Instead of showing you
right.
the action, they explain the action, which
right.
made absolutely no sense.
It was like Last Airbender and live action Full Metal Alchemist. Instead of just showing you the stuff happening, they just keep talking and talking, which makes no sense because you can animate the things happening.
Right.
Every time we expected action, it just kept going.
And then it's the regular Magic High School, but we never saw the school. They
no.
never even gave you a shot of the school. They didn't show a shot of the school in the opening.
No.
They didn't show a shot of the school at the end. And so if you really weren't familiar, this was just like some new movie about some characters you may not have known, saving a girl who has a bunch of clones that look like her, who's supposed to be the girl who calls the stars, but she didn't call nothing.
No! And
she didn't call nothing!
I kind of thought that she was going to, like, team up with Tetsuya, like she was this powerful
and he asked her for her help, and we're like, ooh.
Like, yeah. And you think she's this powerful weapon. Maybe they have to combine their forces because he's already, like, omniscient level powerful. But no, he goes in this Darth Vader suit and just goes and shoots people and then talks some more to the people and then goes out and then he destroys the computers and talks some more. It's like, can you stop talking for 5 minutes?
And none of the brilliance again from the series when he did any of the spells is what they call when they do the combinations and using all of the mathematics and everything.
Right.
And in the series, it looked so cool when you saw the processing and how everything was done. And here he just shot. And we're like, what the heck?
Right.
Where's the cool part of the show that made the show?
Right.
Half of what worked for the show, it was nowhere, non-existent in this film.
And then they ripped off the Avengers.
Yes.
With if you see the movie with the final scene with Tetsuya before they get to like the end of the movie, which ends all of a sudden, they reference like the scene with Iron Man in the first Avengers movie where he's falling. Like, why did you reference that?
And the Hulk caught him, and it was like, did they really just put this in?
Yeah, I mean, I get you like the movie. I mean, I see the Avengers popular in Japan, but you don't have to rip off the scene.
Now, 2 of the worst crimes of this movie were, 1, in the series, they avoided focusing on the sexual part of what happens in a lot of anime.
Right. If more teased it than actually did it. It was like a joke.
And this one, they finally took Miyuki, and I guess maybe there were some fans that really wanted to see her. And there was some blatant and really just no other way to put it, rather vulgar fan service for her butt and for her boobs and her butt, and it was just...
And it made no sense.
It was so unexpected because they hadn't done it before. Mm-hmm. It was... It didn't even go with the character of the show itself. It had no place in the show, and it really didn't have any place in this movie. They just threw a scene in playing volleyball, and then suddenly the folks became up close of boobs that suddenly got even more gigantic than they were before. And the butt shot we won't even go into, and I just couldn't believe that they did this.
Yeah, and
it didn't help the plot. It didn't move the plot along.
It was just fan service.
And unfortunately for you guys, it didn't help this movie.
Right, and it's not like y'all, the girl on My Hero Academia, I think it's Momo, where she has to show some skin for the powers to work. She was like, okay, that makes sense. But here, no, it's just so
and it wasn't even a quick clip like sometimes.
If they just kind of
quick like, okay, a snip,
like, okay, this
slides, flash.
Yeah.
But no, in this one, it was far beyond that. And guys, I understand that you like it, And I don't have problems with it when it furthers the plot or it tells an important part of a story.
Right.
That's fine, but it didn't do any of that in here. It was just done. It's
right.
like, okay, let's add something to make this movie better because we know this movie really sucks.
Right.
Let's just go ahead and throw this in here and maybe that'll
right.
save us, but it didn't.
Right.
And another thing that wasn't in there, but I thought it actually was an improvement, in the series, there's always this strong subtext between Tetsuya and Miyuki that if you don't watch the whole series, it reeks of
like there's something like
princess.
Yes, let's just say that they kind of like each other more than
actually
they should.
Miyuki is the one who does
a lot of that.
Yes,
yeah.
all of the advancing. In here, it was barely there. I think she touched his hand, and that was it. And that was a welcome change.
You're like, okay, that's fine.
It kind of, at times in the series, it was kind of uncomfortable not knowing what the relationship is. You find out later, hopefully you've seen the series because it's a spoiler, that they were both created. So technically, they're not biological brother and sister, they're created brother and sister. But they took that aspect out of this movie, which for me worked. But if I had to choose between that and that fan service for Miyuki, I think I would have rather seen that.
And one more thing I mentioned, other than them hinting at a season 2 at the end of the movie, so either that's in progress or they want to do it, but they have to see how the movie does. There was a point before the movie ends, like I said, abruptly. It just ends on its own, and all of a sudden the credits start. You don't even see them go home or anything till after the credits.
Like, is that the end?
Like, yeah, it's just over.
Right.
There was a moment where they kind of mentioned United States a couple times because one of the characters visited there and they really enjoyed Hawaii and stuff. But they had some characters that were part of the U.S. military. And some were Japanese working for the U.S. military, and one was American. And you could tell the one American because he turned out to be, not surprisingly, a psychotic killer just taking people out. It's like, why is it with some of these movies, they get the one American looked like the Joker, looked crazy, had some tendencies, and was just axing people off left and right because he didn't like being ordered anymore. It's like, why?
Joker seems to be a recurring character in a lot of anime shows, and probably a lot of manga. For some reason, Joker being this huge villain in the DC universe ends up being a character that a lot of villains are based off of in a lot of shows. So
he wasn't even a villain.
Yeah, I mean, they had that, and like you said, then they had the Iron Man Hulk reference. So
yeah,
so the best thing about this movie is that all the original voice actors were in it, which was terrific.
Right.
Fantastic. We didn't have to wonder, is this the same person? You could hear and you knew it was the same people doing the
voices, right? Because there's no English dub for this show at all. It's all Japanese,
right,
so you know it's all the original people.
Right. So that was fantastic. It was fantastic. They attempted to make a movie. If they decide to do a second one, the only thing we recommend is having a plot that makes sense, showing the action as you show in the original series that drew you to the series, having the cerebralness, the wittiness, the unexpected moments.
The humor as well was missing.
And a plot that really just holds your attention. If you can do that for the second movie, then we will commit to watching. But if the second movie is anything like this one, and we were really disappointed, unfortunately, then we're going to have to pass.
Yeah.
But hey.
Right, if you haven't seen this movie, you can let us know if you liked it or not. And if not, you can take your chance on it. Because
if you've never seen the series, don't watch this movie. If you just want to watch this movie because you want to see what the series is about, don't watch this movie.
Right.
You need to watch the series first because the movie and the series are two different animals, and you're not going to recognize the series or have any idea of what's going on in a series or anything from watching this movie. There's just no connection whatsoever. And that's the last thing that I want to mention before we sign off. Unlike other movies you've seen, like the My Hero Academia and other series that make these anime movies, they all have a connection to the original series. This one didn't. It had nothing to do with the original series except for the characters were in it.
Right,
so
and they just said, and the only thing they said was takes place after, I guess, after the show's over, and then they're starting the second year where they're upgraded, I guess, and then that was the best you got.
So, leave us, let us know if you've seen the original series in the comments below, and as Rascal said, if you've seen the movie, and if your opinion differs from ours, let us know why you thought this movie was a success.
Right. So, thanks for watching. I'm Rascal Entertainment.
And I'm Mom Entertainment.
Have a toontastic day.
Peace.
And reporters sitting, flashing lights, trying to walk around, man, who the hell are you? What you wanna do? Well, man, it's on you. Man, it's on you. Met her in my dreams, she was my queen. A castle in the mountaintops, rivers and streams. Plucking sunlight from the sky in my pocket, give it to you.